Child struggles with sensory issues like certain clothing textures, falling asleep or staying asleep, haircuts, or just making simple transitions throughout the day or being out of routine, you can feel very overwhelmed and exhausted and especially frustrated when they can't seem to figure out what is causing struggles in their child. It can be even harder if it's dismissed by your pediatrician or other parents in your life that are just saying, you know what, it's normal, every kid goes through this, they're going to grow out of it, that's just that age, or there's honestly nothing you can do. But deep down in your gut as a parent, you want to help your child and you know that something is not fully right with them. So you want to help them handle the day-to-day situations that can turn into more stress for them later on, especially as adults. We are under a ton of stress as adults. The truth is that sensory issues and all of that fall under this massive umbrella of sensory challenges, sensory processing disorders, sensory everything, is that the root of all these challenges lies within that central nervous system that controls your body. Since the nervous system is super complex and connected, these sensory issues and challenges are linked to things like autism and anxiety, especially when the struggles get to a certain threshold where that child is just so overwhelmed that they literally get stuck in a certain state. The reason behind this is the main thing that sensory struggles do to the body is that they almost like bombard the brain with a bunch of noise and information that the brain quite literally can't handle, especially in that moment. It's kind of like you're in your vehicle or your car and the check engine light turns on, then the brake lights turn on, and then all these alert systems turn on, all the lights are on, and basically you're like stuck and you don't know what to do in that moment. So that's what kind of state that your nervous system's in: fight or flight, panic, stress. What do I do? That is what happens to your kiddo when they're in and stuck in this sympathetic state. So when you see a kiddo needing to touch everything in the room, chewing on their shirt, grinding their teeth all the time, needing to experience everything in their environment, this is linked to sensory struggles. We see this a lot in kids with autism. This is a child in need of something that we call proprioception. This is basically calming input to their brain, and that's what proprioception does. When a child's nervous system is stuck in dysregulation or fight or flight or sympathetic overdrive, their brain is seeking out stimulation that helps calm all that noise that they're experiencing down. This is that proprioceptive input like nail biting, chewing, grinding, touching everything, squeezing things, and much more. Another aspect that we have to consider is that a brain that is bombarded with all this noise perceives its environment differently than a brain that is clear and calm. When an overloaded brain and nervous system are stuck and overwhelmed, they perceive things like bright lights in a room, loud noises, certain textures to be almost painful or dangerous to their system. And so this is why your child quite literally cannot handle a lot of things that shouldn't be stressful to them. Their nervous system and brain are seeing and sensing things differently than you or I are, and they can't control it. Picture yourself in a noisy coffee shop, for example, or an airport where there's constant interruptions. People are running all around you. They're stressed about missing their flights. They're bumping into you. There's lots of loud noises in flights, and then you're being interrupted constantly by a noise on the intercom or someone calling someone. There's so much going on. This is what's happening inside your child's brain all the time, especially if they seem like they can't control it. They're stuck in this scenario all day and every day. So this is why they can't focus, they can't sleep, they're struggling in school, they're super picky with foods, and they go into meltdowns so easily, and it's like 0 to 100 for them. They just can't handle life in general. Now, a common factor with almost every child with sensory distress is what we call vagal nerve dysfunction. The vagus nerve is in charge of calming the body, lowering the heart rate, improving your breathing, activating your gut and immune system function, and basically down regulation, so calming and slowing things down. It also helps to activate the parasympathetic response, which is our rest and digest system, so all these good things for our body. So this whole process of the vagus nerve being interfered with, if there's any interference with it or it's dysregulated, this allows that sympathetic nervous system to take over and wreak havoc on the body with this overdrive response of go, 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 fight or flight, and adrenaline constantly. So then we see parents seeking out the OT, which is awesome because they use all these movement-based integration systems and exercises to help these kiddos calm down. And that is awesome for their bodies. But without the sessions, they start to regress a little and they're not really getting to that full improvement where they can handle things without that care. There's a reason for this. Their central nervous system at the end of the day is still being dysregulated, with that vagus nerve being interfered with. This is a more deep-rooted struggle, not surface level. So we need to access that part of the child's nervous system and unlock that before true progress can be made with these therapies. What we see as nervous system focused pediatric chiropractors is that you have to go in and release that dysfunction and unwind the tension from the nervous system and vagus nerve through specific and gentle adjustments to their spine and their nervous system. We see these kids start to unwind, they start to process their environments better, they start to try new foods, especially within the first couple months of care. Sometimes they start to sleep better almost immediately, they digest better, they get rid of their toxins better, they react to similar situations more calmly, their immune systems are stronger, and they're just better functioning when we use care plans and consistent calming adjustments with them that are very gentle and specific to their needs and struggles. We do this through optimizing their nervous system, through seeing their scans, their neurological scans that we take in the office, and we make sure that we're connecting with these kids, meeting them where they're at, not doing too much at once, not changing everything at once, doing one thing at a time, nice and slowly, so that we're building those steps for them to get to that healing mode. We're bringing their nervous systems from that state of fight or flight to a parasympathetic state of rest and digest. So if this sounds like your child, if you're struggling with the day-to-day things, like your child has to be in routine, they can't go out of routine or it's going to be a complete disaster, they can't skip these steps, they have to do things very specifically, or certain textures bug them, or they can't eat lots of foods, or there's just a lot going on in their heads and you can just tell as a parent that they're struggling, please let us know how we can help you. Reach out to us and see where they could be experiencing this stress. And if there's not someone near you, we can find someone near you that focuses on these issues, that studies the nervous system and knows exactly what to do with these kiddos. You want to find a specialist for these kids because these are very complex issues that they're struggling with. So make sure you reach out to someone. Let us know if this resonated with you as a parent, and we hope that this helps you.